hand, it just seems like humans, for the most part, are just mostly follow orders. Doug Casey's said a few times, and I actually have never fully agreed with him on it. But more and more, I'm like, maybe he's right. And he said that us people, anarcho-capitalists or libertarians, people who don't want to mess with other people's lives, don't want to control other people, and actually see controlling people as being a bad thing for everybody, except for the person controlling, of course. He says people like us are like a genetic, a freak genetic thing. And maybe he's right, because there doesn't seem to be that many people who get what I talk about.
The Lost. Tell you a personal story. At the top of the market in the cryptocurrencies, my boss came to me and wanted me to help him get things set up so he can start purchasing Bitcoin. And I didn't want to help him at the time he asked, because I knew that we were at the top of the market. And for several months, he would chastise me and use it as an excuse to commit that I let him down. And I took it every single time he brought it up, pretty much a few times a week. And I let him just say what he needed to say, get out what he needed to get out, because he was obviously offended that I wouldn't help him get things set up, and because the timing wasn't right. And my boss is a good man, but you know, when he wants something done, he wants it done his way and done now, and I refused to assist him at the time. So a few days ago, when Bitcoin hit about $29,000, I started blowing up his phone by text, by talking to him, by doing everything I can to say, all right, now's the time to get in. And he blew me off. He just didn't have the time for it. So I bring this up as an example of the information that I share. You have to be ready for it. You have to really be attentive and sensitive to the flow of time. You have to allow the universe to speak to you, to share with you, not where you are forcing your will upon it. So I post these videos with mentors, right? I always like to highlight different mentors, different people in time who are great influencers, who people respect and love. And one of my best friends, when I posted this last video of the good doctor, she commented, to me on text that, how much she loves Joe. And for me, it's hilarious. It's entertaining when, yes, use those mentors to better your life. But again, these mentors point out, the problems. Some even touch on the solutions, like the one I just played at the beginning of this video. Very influential, very important information. Provides the problem and the solution. I ask you, what are you doing to solve these issues? Are you just an observer and you're not a player in the game? What are you doing in your life in action? And I think that Jeff, on the beginning of this video, is touching on something very important. These type of people, the ones who publicly state and discuss these type of topics, are very rare. They are the diamonds. The thing is that each of us, we're like lumps of coal, so to speak, in the beginning, and we've worked very hard in our lives, living our passion, living our dreams. aim and purpose, phasing in and out of these different emotional, physical, and mental states. The mental, the good doctor is very keen on, very good at. However, if you find this channel, you're going to discover a richness, a variety, a full body matrix on how to interface with our reality. This information is very advanced. I know that. I understand that. I try to lay it out in a format where people can understand it better, because as soon as you put this into practice, you receive an abundance. So my boss is a very wealthy man, and he, I don't think, realizes that I have actually been in the crypto markets since 2011, a long time. And those who have been following this channel will know that I used to have a Bitcoin ATM in my candy store in Las Vegas. And a lot of you also know that I'm pretty good at timing, because I sold my stores in November of 2019, right before the Great Pause, which we labeled before it even happened. And one of the things I used to joke about when I had the ATM in my stores, I used to take Bitcoin in my candy stores. I've had 5 in the past, in Nebraska and in Nevada. For years, I attempted to get my friends and customers looking at Bitcoin and becoming a player for wealth, riches, and treasure. Those who follow the different stories of time travel will find it very interesting that I used to live in Nebraska. I share that with the people who have been around a while within these circles and who listen to people who speak of time travel. And they'll find it interesting that I was trying to get people into Bitcoin for many, many years. And just to think about it, I mean, wouldn't time travelers be interested in, having wealth as far as financially? Isn't that a motivator? No matter what time you're from, is wealth not a great reason to travel in time if you had the ability? If years from now, if you knew time travel was real, would going back in time to collect Bitcoin be interesting? We shall find out in the future if that would be a smart idea. So this is about the lost. The lost is when these opportunities present themselves and you sit by and you do nothing. You simply observe. You don't participate. You don't be a player. You're stuck on 0. You never get to 1. You never do anything about it. Those are the lost. And by the way, so we're clear, is we are all there at some point. Even me, even my friends, even you, even your friends. It's just what degree, what level are you lost? Are you stuck in one situation where it's like Groundhog Day every single day for you? Well, then maybe you should do something. Maybe you should change your patterns. This is what the good doctor was talking about on the last video, right? But he's coming from a place of the mind. You come to Elemental Hypertech, we are going to take you to the heart and the gut and the body. We're going to move you beyond these structures and systems. Again, it's advanced, but simple at the same time. So you use these mentors, you take in their information, but you got to put it into practice. Anybody you hear on my channel, I consider a mentor. And then I try to assist not only the mentor, but myself and those who listen on how to move beyond those structures, how to incorporate them in your life. Is this not of importance? Of accumulation of health and wealth, but also of participation, of giving back to others? At some point in your life, when you move out of the survival mode, and then if you're fortunate enough to not be lost in survival, where every day is just like you're just fighting just to stay alive, and so you never actually get to explore your consciousness, the fabric of our reality. You never get this opportunity because you're too busy in protection and fighting mode. You're never in an exploring mode. So if you are lucky to get out of survival, then you go into the sexual. And sex sells. The most viewed stuff is, things that are hot, right? Men and women in these sexual ways. These are not the people we are looking for in time. Those are the lost. Those are the ones who are have the base desires. It's like it's the level right above survival is the sexual. Of course, if you're young and things, you have urges and hormones, and those things play a role as well. But there are exceptions, of course. But the idea here is to even take you beyond that. The sexual is about priority. In the elemental hypertech system, it is Mars. The wavelength and color is red. Moving beyond that to orange, which is change, Mercury. Then, as you understand how to change your internal and external world, you move into activity. I'm teaching you how we structure the school of elemental hypertech, how we maneuver you and move you to how to know thyself, how to be thyself, to act thyself, to find that core and that center of who you really are. Because after yellow, activity, which is the diaphragm, which is Jupiter, we move into the heart. And the heart is actually where I like to be most times. But again, everybody's different. And finding yourself in this process, it's, we're all not the same. People like different things. Some people are mental, like the good doctor, missing so much of the other parts of the heart and the gut. The gut is the future. Connect with your future. The heart is the present moment. The mind is the past. And yes, the good doctor is right. You can focus. What you focus on becomes your reality. What is your intention? Your intention will speak back to you. So get your mind clean. Keep it right. Keep it focused on your dreams, your aspirations, your successes, your achievements. But that's different than what the heart wants. The heart is green. It is Venus. It is a way to be at peace. If you go too far into the future, you become anxious. If you go too far in the past, you become depressed. Is this not of interest to learn on what this means and how it's organized and interfaces? And if you're part of the Villains Training Program, the interference. The Villains Training Program is about order followers, is about control, is about the errors, authority, to obey, defining the controversial aspects influences and ideas of what is referenced as the vulgar, profane, and vile. There is so much more to share, but few explore. In the spirit and soul of open source, to be the novel originator of the Villains Training Program, I will provide the first level of the structure, method, and system for you to judge its matrix, test its worthiness, practice yourself to validate and verify. Others may accept, and many others may be full of doubt and skepticism. The law of confusion plays a role in the game. Frustration is a key in which opens the mind. Pride, Uranus, the senses, envy, the sun, the throat, wrath, Neptune, the heart, greed, Venus, the hands, sloth, the star, the gut, gluttony, Mercury, the genitals, lust, Mars, the butt and upper legs, ignorance, Pluto. These are advanced next level aspects when we move through Pluto. Pluto is like the face of the theater. It's the happy and the sad. So it is a gateway. And to provide further into that gateway of the advanced systems, being the novel originator of the Villains Training Program, we're adding to this. We're upgrading. We're enhancing. We've spoken about this in the past for years. And with 4 books, we've relayed this information. The different levels in the Gen Unity book, a rare book indeed. So after Pluto comes the knees and shins, guilt, the moon. On the other side of the frustration, the moon is support. Back to the Villains Training Program, the feet, Saturn, fear.